Our gospel for today speaks about the story between the rich man and the poor man named Lazarus. I do not know if you are attentive and curious. The rich man has no name, but the poor man, we identify him as Lazarus. Lazarus, he is not the brother of Mary and Martha, but this is a different Lazarus. And the name Lazarus means God is my help. And what is very interesting in our gospel for today is this. The gospel described Lazarus as being forgotten by people, neglected by people, cared for only by dogs. And this is the terrible experience of a human person when animals are better than human beings. No? Terrible human experience. When animals are better than human beings. Today's gospel is a warning. A warning in a sense, because if we are cruel and if we mistreat, we neglect the Lazarus around us, we will end up a life of many regrets, like this rich man in the gospel. And what's the challenge for us? Today, when we encounter the poor, it means God is giving us the chance to unlock the kingdom of heaven. Because meeting the needs of the poor is an opportunity to enter the kingdom of heaven. Our eternal destiny depends on how we take care of the less fortunate, and we prepare our future dwelling place by the charity we made. But when we speak about charity, it's not about pity, but it's all about love. And second, it is also a good warning to all of us, especially those people who love money. This is a good reminder that money cannot buy heaven. Money cannot buy our personal salvation. Money cannot save. Money without active charity for the poor is great wickedness. Without a rich heart, wealth is an ugly beggar. My dear parishioners, my dear good people of God, if we close our wallet to the needs of the poor, the gate of heaven becomes narrower and narrower for us. But it is also interesting to note, it is not sin to be rich. It is not sinful to be wealthy. What is sinful is if we neglect the needs of the poor. That's why St. John Chrysostom, in one of his famous words, is reminding the priests, because most churches before, I do not know here, I don't notice it here in Canada, but most churches before, if you go to church, you will always find beggar in the front of the church. You will always find beggar at the church door. That's why St. John Chrysostom reminding the priests, if you do not find Christ in the beggar at the church door, neither will you find him in the chalice. And finally, what I would like to dwell in my reflection today, the gospel is reminding us that heaven and hell are real. It's true. There is heaven and there is hell. And even in our first reading for today, it speaks about curses and blessings, rewards and punishment. If you trust the Lord, you will be blessed. If you don't trust the Lord, you will be cursed. If you do good, you will be rewarded of heaven. If you are not doing good, you will be punished and be tormented in the fire of hell. What happens when we die? After our earthly journey here in Malay, we will find ourselves in eternal destiny. The way we spend our life here on earth determines what kind of future dwelling places we wanted to be in the future. That's why there is a place of fiery torment called hell. This is a punishment for those who don't mind the needy. This is a punishment for those who neglect the needs of the poor. And on the other hand, there is also a paradise called heaven. And heaven, it is a reward for those who listen to the command of God, and a reward to those mindful to the concerns of many Lazarus around us. And, for the final note, when we die, we bring nothing up there. Friends, this is not to scare us, but to warn us. Heaven is real, and hell is not an invention. It is true. And the text to prove that is the story of Lazarus this morning. Final note. The gospel is telling us of this beautiful message. It is not a guarantee that when you are poor, you will be saved. It is not a guarantee when you are poor, you will be in heaven. No. And it is not also an assurance that when you are rich, automatically you will be in hell. Because you're rich, you go to hell. That's not the point. The point is this: the way we treat others determine our eternal destiny. Be mindful of our first reading. You will be blessed if you trust the Lord. You will be cursed if you put your trust on mortals, especially on your money. When we encounter the poor, it means God is giving us the chance to enter the kingdom of heaven. The poor, he has a name, Lazarus. The rich, no name mentioned. Why? Because the rich person, the rich man in the story, he might be you and me. That's why it is a warning for us. If you wanted to be saved, don't trust on your money. Don't trust on mortals. But be mindful of the concerns and the needs of so many Lazarus around us.